I had been married to Emily for 8 years, and in that time, I thought we had built a strong, trusting relationship. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing too serious. I worked long hours at my job to make sure we had a comfortable life, and Emily worked as an assistant to a high-profile manager at her company. I never imagined that the very place she went to earn a living would become the place where my marriage would crumble. It all started subtly. Emily began staying late at work more often, claiming there were urgent deadlines or corporate meetings that needed her attention. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, she had always been ambitious and hard-working. But soon, she started dressing differently, wearing more makeup, and paying extra attention to her appearance on days she had important meetings. I brushed it off as her just wanting to look professional. Then came the emotional distance. Conversations at home grew shorter, and her phone seemed glued to her hand. She would tilt the screen away from me whenever a message came through. At night, she would sometimes sleep facing away from me, claiming she was too tired to talk. My gut told me something was wrong, but my heart wanted to believe she was still the woman I married. One Saturday, while she was supposedly out shopping with friends, I decided to surprise her with lunch at her favorite cafe. As I was walking toward the place, I saw her sitting outside at a table, but she wasn't with her friends. She was with her boss, Daniel, and they weren't behaving like colleagues. He had his hand over hers, and she was laughing in a way I hadn't seen in months. My heart dropped. I didn't confront them right then. Instead, I walked away, my mind racing with shock and anger. I spent the next few days quietly observing her behavior. I checked phone records, and sure enough, Daniel's number appeared constantly, even late at night. Finally, I confronted her. She denied everything at first, calling me paranoid, but when I told her what I'd seen, her face went pale. After a long silence, she admitted it. She had been having an affair with him for months. As devastating as that was, what came next shattered me even more. Emily broke down crying and confessed she was pregnant. She claimed she wasn't sure if the baby was mine or Daniel's, but deep down, I knew the truth. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. She wanted me to raise the baby, regardless of who the father was. Her reasoning was twisted. She said Daniel was married and didn't want to ruin his reputation, and she didn't want to throw away our marriage over what she called a mistake. I couldn't believe the audacity. She was asking me to take on the responsibility of another man's child while she continued working under him. I refused outright. I told her that not only would I not raise the child, but I also couldn't stay married to someone who betrayed me so deeply. She tried to guilt-trip me, saying we could rebuild trust, but I was done. I had been faithful, loyal, and supportive, and this was how she repaid me. I filed for divorce within a week. She was furious, accusing me of being heartless, but I didn't let her words sway me. I moved out, cutting off all contact except through lawyers. The pain was heavy, but the thought of living a lie for the rest of my life was heavier. The divorce process was messy. Emily tried to claim that the baby could be mine, but the paternity test proved otherwise. It was Daniel's child. That result gave me a strange mix of relief and grief. Relief that I was free of that burden, and grief that the woman I loved had been capable of such betrayal. Daniel's wife eventually found out, and from what I heard, his marriage was hanging by a thread. Emily ended up having the baby on her own, and last I heard, she moved away to live closer to her family. I had no interest in keeping tabs on her life anymore. For a while, I questioned everything. My worth, my judgment, and whether love was even worth the risk. But over time, I realized that her actions were a reflection of her character, not mine. I had given her my trust, and she chose to destroy it. That was on her, not me. The experience taught me painful but valuable lessons about boundaries, respect, and self-worth. It also made me more cautious in relationships, but not bitter. I still believe in love, but I know now that it's better to walk away from someone who disrespects you than to sacrifice your dignity just to keep them. Looking back, I'm proud that I didn't give in to her demands. Some people might think it's noble to raise another man's child, but in my case, it would have been living a lie every single day. I chose the harder path of letting go, and while it hurt, it was the right choice for my peace and future. Now, years later, I'm in a much better place. I have a stable life, supportive friends, and a heart that's healing. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: betrayal might break you for a while, but it can't keep you down forever, if you choose yourself over someone who never valued you in the first place.